And then Cleo says, here's sport indeed. How heavy weighs my lord. Our strength is all gone into heaviness. You know, we can't pull you up. You seem so heavy because we are so sad. We don't have the strength, the physical strength to pull you up. That makes the weight. Had I great Juno, god, Roman god's power, the strong winged Mercury, Greek mythology, should fetch thee up and set thee by Jove's side. Yet come a little. Wishers were ever fools. Wishers were ever fools, meaning we can't get what we wish for. Oh, come. And they struggle to because Antony is obviously lying on like a bier, you know, just think of a door. He's lying on a door, and they must hoist the door up. And eventually they get him to where Cleo is, and she says, and welcome, die when thou hast lived, quicken with kissing. Had my lips that power, thus would I wear them out. And she says, if only my kisses could give you life, I would carry on kissing you until you are fully recovered. And she kisses him, and everyone standing around are saying, oh, a heavy sight. So they are very sad to witness this coming to an end of an era, this very famous / notorious couple. I am dying, Egypt, dying. Give me some wine and let me speak a little. No, let me speak, meaning rest yourself, and let me rail so high that the false housewife fortune break a wheel, provoked by my offense. And so she insults Fortune. Fortune is personified as a woman, and she says, I want to do all the talking. I want Fortune to actually lose her power. I'm not going to talk that much. And her power over you to prevent you from dying. And Antony says, one word, sweet queen, of Caesar seek honor with your safety. I find this very touching, because Antony says, of Caesar seek your honor with your safety. And he's saying to her, go to Caesar and beg for mercy. And Antony, till his very last, till his death, he puts Cleo's needs before his own. And when he says beg for mercy, he knows that will come at a cost. We know Cleo's track record with men, and if it means that she's got to take Caesar as a lover to save herself, her children, her country, then he's saying, then go ahead and do that. Of Caesar seek your honor with your safety. Do whatever it takes to be safe. And Cleo says they do not go together, my honor and my safety, because I think for me, this is one spot where Cleo, line 49, when Cleo acknowledges that her actions with these powerful men are not honorable. That's why she says they do not go together. And Antony says, hear, gentle, meaning gentlewoman, hear me. None about Caesar trust, but Proculius. In other words, don't trust Caesar, don't trust any of his men that serve under him. The only one that you can trust, who is trustworthy, is Proculius. And Cleopatra says, my resolution, my promise, and my hands, I'll trust none about Caesar. So she agrees. This is such valuable advice that he's giving her. And Antony, in those good couple of lines coming up, he recalls his own greatness. He says, the miserable change now at my end, lament nor sorrow at it. In other words, don't Don't cry for me, don't mourn for me when I'm dead. But please your thoughts in feeding them with those my former fortunes. Think of my glories, focus on my past successes, wherein I lived the greatest prince of the world, the noblest, and do now not basely die, nor cowardly put off my helmet to my countrymen. He says, think about my past successes. He says, think about my past successes, all my glories. And then he says, please remember that I don't die because I was killed by Caesar. He says, a Roman by a Roman valiantly vanquished. He says, I have defeated myself, not an enemy. Now my spirit is going, I can no more. So Antony's death is glorious. It is honorable. And so we admire Antony for the way he chooses to die. He's almost restoring his former glory to himself. And Cleo says, noblest of men, wouldst you die? Do you really want to die? Hast thou no care of me? What about me? Shall I abide in this dull world, which in thy absence is no better than a sty? Do you really want to die? What about me? This world is going to be so dull and boring and monotonous without you. We could argue that she's saying that to encourage him to fight for his life, or we could also make an argument that this is typical Cleopatra, self-centered, egocentric to the last. And then he dies. And she says, oh, see my women, the crown of the earth doth melt. My lord, oh, withered is the garland of war. The soldier's pole is fallen in. And of course, there is more than one way of interpreting that. He's dead. The pole, maybe with the standard, his colors on top. It could also have a sexual connotation. Young boys and girls are level now with men. The odds is gone, and there is nothing left remarkable beneath the visiting moon. And then Cleo faints. Just think about that. Why is Cleo fainting? The man died, so she, still the drama queen, she makes it about herself. And Charmian says, oh, quietness, lady, she's dead to our sovereign. Lady, madam, oh, madam, 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 royal Egypt, empress. And so they are all around her. They are fanning her. They are trying to revive her from this faint. And she says, peace, peace, Iris, as in stop. And Cleo says, no more, but even a woman, and commanded by such poor passion as the maid that milks and does the meanest chores. And so Cleopatra is saying that she doesn't feel special any longer. She says she's now as ordinary as a milking maid who does the most low of chores. If it were for me to throw my scepter, and the scepter is what the queen holds in her hand, it's that long pole with that big round globe on the top, and which is a symbol of your royalty, it's a symbol of your queen or kingship. To throw my scepter at the injurious gods, to tell them that this world did equal theirs. She says, if it was up to me, I would take this and I would throw this at the gods to show her fury. To tell them that this world did equal theirs till they had stolen our jewel. The jewel, something extremely valuable, something precious, and the jewel here is of course referring to Antony. All's but naught, meaning everything is naught, it's worthwhile, it's worthless, it's empty. Patience is sottish, patience is for fools, and impatience does become a dog that's mad. Then is it sin to rush into the secret house of death? She says, is it a sin not to wait until it's your time to die, but to rush in, to kill yourself, to commit suicide? before death dare come to us. How do you women? What? Good cheer. Why? How now, Charmian? Because now she's looking at their faces and they're obviously upset. My noble girls, women, look. Just make a bracket around those last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, those last 7 lines. Our lamp is spent. And she's talking about herself. It's out. Good sirs, take heart. We'll bury him. And then, what's brave, what's noble, let's do it after the high Roman fashion and make death proud to take us. So she's saying firstly that we need to honor Antony by burying him in the manner worthy of his former position. We need to really just honor him in death after the high Roman fashion, the way you would treat a high military ruler. Come away. This case of the huge spirit now is cold. And you know, as when someone dies and the body, the core temperature starts dropping and the body just becomes cold. So it's just a cold corpse. Women, come. We have no friend but resolution and briefness at the end. And so she ends the scene, scene 15 of Act 4. She ends it by deciding they must bury Antony in the traditional Roman fashion, even though he is in Egypt, and then she's going to seek her own.